Hey everybody, this is B from Kongs R Us, and welcome to a Sunday Funday show with the interesting topic today. If you guys caught the thumbnail, if you caught the title, I might have did a little bit of clickbaity by putting lots of pictures of Star Wars Trilogy. So for those that are just casually walking by, there is no news about an Arcade1Up Star Wars Trilogy cab. I'm sorry if I clickbaited you into this stream today, but if you read the actual description of the theme, it actually asked the question, this or that. And the real question is, for those that have been modding for many years in the community, right? Do you continue to mod cabs that you want, or do you wait for the speculation of actually having that cab released in a home arcade fashion, like Star Wars Trilogy, something that has been alluded to? It's been asked tons of times by the community, but I don't know if it'll actually happen. There's a lot of issues in terms of even the technology, the chipset, the ability to even play that cab, having the right controls. That actually worries me about an Arcade1Up version of the Star Wars Trilogy cab. But I've emulated this cab and that game a ton of times. And so I was thinking about it. And so the short story about why I have this show today is that there's a gentleman by the name of Sean Misselbrook, and he couldn't join today's show. I actually asked him to join in, but he messaged me and was like, yes, I think he messaged me after my Thursday show. My Thursday show, The Next Level, I was one of the best episodes I've pretty much ever had on YouTube. It was such a blast. I had Glenn on the show, 99 Lives, Buy Stuff Store, and then I had Billy Wright and Kai, and we all geeked out on Star Wars and Star Wars modding for an hour, and it was amazing. So it was a great show. I love having those types of shows and interactions with folks. And then after the show, I randomly get a message from somebody named Sean who owns this site, reproarcade.co.uk. So it's the UK site of graphics. If you are overseas and you want to get graphics, or even worldwide shipping, if you're in the US and you're looking for another place to get graphics, I know a lot of folks like Arcade Graphics is a great place to get stuff too. I use Tyler a lot, but Sean reached out to me and he said, "Hey, do you want a Star Wars Trilogy artwork? I'll send it to you for free." And like, it was just out of the blue. I didn't ask or solicit it. And at first, I messaged them back immediately, and I was like, "No, I don't think I'm interested." And then the more I thought about it, I was like, "Am I interested? Am I throwing away a possibility of me making my own Star Wars Trilogy cab now? Like, is this the crux of me starting this?" And so he has a Gen 1 skin of Star Wars Trilogy. And if you happen to notice in my background, I've had this Gen 1 Tron cab sitting here for like months with dust and nothing on it, because I did exactly what happened in this issue. I started making this Tron cab before the Arcade1Up release version of it. And I was like, I have zero motivation to do anything with this. And I like not even finishing it as a Tron to sell it, not even like reskinning it or anything. It's just been sitting there collecting dust. And I was like, wait a second, this could be my opportunity to reskin it. Exactly what Gibby was saying. Are you gonna change that Tron cab to a trilogy machine? You exactly got what I was going at, Gibby Gibbertson. So I have the yoke on there. I have the Tron or the other panel. So I was like, oh man, this could be it. But then I was thinking, like, is it worth it? Is Arcade1Up gonna release their own trilogy line later down the line? So that's where we are today. Because this conversation is interesting. If you want to join the chat, I have a couple of guests backstage already, but I'm really interested in chatting with folks. If you have if you are a modder and you have some feedback on this topic, if you've modded something and then eventually it got released as a real cab, what do you do with it? I've only had that once to me, and I still have the original cab that I modded. So now I'm like, crap, do I keep it? I've been talking myself into selling it often, but I just can't pull the trigger because modding is my baby and I have put a lot of time and effort into it. But I do have something else that's exciting today. So for folks, again, Repro Arcade, because I asked them, said, hey, I probably would be interested in getting this now for the sake of it. And I haven't told Mrs. Kongs or us yet, who should be here pretty shortly, about what I did. I might have bought some parts already for the mod. Don't tell her yet. I'm gonna surprise her. And they were really expensive. But Repo Arcade, Sean, is actually going to offer a free graphics kit from his site to anybody in the live chat today. So we're gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna do a giveaway for a complete full graphics skin from this website. If you want to do a point blank, oh my goodness, this point blank cab is awesome. Woo-hoo! I just noticed that. Oh man, I'm such a huge point blank fan. That's really awesome. He has Donkey Kong, Darkstalkers, T2. How many people made T2 cabs, right? Moonwalk. Oh, the Moonwalker cab is really sick. All right, I should stop looking at this because now my head is turning with stuff that I might want to do in the future. This is good stuff. I mean, these are all Gen 1 skins. I think he has the same artwork for legacy versions as well. It's good stuff. Okay, anyways, but we're gonna give away a free a graphics kit by the end of the show. So we'll probably do something in chat. We'll do a chat bot, and so if you are interested, you can get a free graphics set. But I do have a couple of guests. Again, one of the guests reached out to me immediately as soon as I posted this topic. He was like, "This is something I wanted to talk about, YouTube." And I thought he might have some words to say, and reached out really late on his time. So I was like, "Man, Detroit loves to burn the midnight oil." Super late, and here he is, the one, the only Detroit Love. What's going on, man? Yeah, I can't hear you unless your mic is off.
Yeah, I'm always muted.
Always an issue. Oh wow, look at you. Are you in a different place without like your normal space? Is this like
Yeah, I'm normally all the way back there. This is
okay?
I'm in the arcade area because I'm actually modding my Galaga to
So
put
you're
in
in the
Glenn's.
workshop. You're in the D Love workshop because we're talking about modding, and the other folks that you normally talk with usually don't talk about this stuff. So,
Correct.
but what's going on, man? You were interested in this topic. Why do you want to come on the show? And do you have any words of wisdom for me?
Yeah, well, it was funny because I have been talking about it because I'm in the process of modding this, and at one point in time I was modding like every week. I had some machines going out, and I hadn't modded in a while, and so I was thinking, is modding dead? You have legends where you can throw a USB card in, USB drive in, and have all the games, with CoinOps X. So the game has definitely changed, but clearly it's not dead. Clearly, modding is about getting the cabinet you want, or getting the cabinet that you have the way you want it. So
Yeah,
it's clearly not. And I just love that the so many third parties. You just mentioned a new guy in the UK. That's been an awesome thing about this community, man. It's all these third party people that make all these options available so that you can get exactly what you want. So
yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad it's still alive. I'm glad that people get to get what they want.
Yeah, I agree. The third party scene has been pretty freaking awesome to be able to do exactly what you said. And it's really inspiring. And I blame actually one of the first face groups that I ever joined was the Arcade1Up Facebook one up in modding group. It's actually the group that I posted in yesterday. And I just wanted to share just a little bit of history because when you see inspiration like you're saying from other folks, January 24th, 2020 was the first time I ever posted in this group, and I was all excited. I had my Gen 1 Street Fighter 2, and I was like, look, I changed out the buttons. I put in Sanwas and I put in Haps on the other side, and it was like pretty much wow, that was it. It was like that was modding back then. It was just buttons. And then it got like a little bit deeper. So yesterday I kind of went back and looked at my journey for modding. And just a little bit later, I was like, oh, look, I bought a Pac-Man. And look, I spray painted the bottom and I created my own little visor. And this was actually one of my first technical mods I did, and was like, hey, look, I actually made it so that it lights up and there's like a cool little ghost cutout shell. And so I still have this base, even though I don't have the cab anymore, because I was so proud of this. And then eventually I was going back. I didn't even know how to pop out that C clip on, on a on an IL stick. I had to ask for help, and I was like, "How do you get this little clip out here?" So I was so new, but this was interesting to me. So back February, almost 2 years ago, I was like, here's my 4 cabs, and I was so happy. I modded a turtles cab to a pie. I modded my Street Fighter 2 with everything else. I had my Star Wars and I had my Pac-Man, and I was like, I am done. I literally said in my post, like, here's all my stuff. And the last thing I said in my post was, if I ever find a damn cap of $100 or less, like some of you bastards, I'll be getting more. Otherwise, I'm done, son. Well, have you ever said that where like you got something, you finished the mod, and you're like, I'm done? And then, everybody knows what happened afterwards. But like, just curious your thoughts on have you ever related to something like this?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the issue with modding is that once you go down that rabbit hole, it's kind of tough to get out. And you've mentioned this time and time on your show, is that sometimes your arcade is just never in a state to actually play it because you have these mods going on. So that's what I wrestle with every time. Like even with my, I have Bobby Boo's To Die For's back splash or back
Mhm,
glass box for the
mhm.
ALP.
Yep.
Um, but I just didn't want to open it yet, because like once you open it, then
You
you
got to
don't get
start
to
the
play it.
project.
Yeah, and so a lot of times I like the ALP is finally open, but I'm still slow moving on it. I keep pondering whether I gut out the toy shock and just put the components into the ALP and be done, right, without having to restart. You've messed with the
Mhm. Oh
VPX,
yeah.
so you know the time that goes into it. And it's like, boy, do I want to do that? But then I'll have this shell for the toy shock, and what do I do with that, right? So that's always the question. But
Mhm.
yeah, we always say we're done. We're never done. This Galaga, I would think that would have been done. This thing's like 3 years old,
The
but
3/4 scale, full scale Galaga. What are you doing with it?
the 3/4 scale. I have the Glenn and Stefan,
Oh,
um,
the 8-way changer gate.
the,
Ah,
the
yes.
4-way to 8-way, yeah,
Yeah.
because
There it is.
Uh, I love vertical. I love vertical, but there's
Mhm.
games on there. And I'm not a real big shoot 'em up guy. Galaga's my shoot 'em up. That's the original OG. Uh, I call the other
It
ones the
counts.
kitchen
It counts.
sink.
Like
Yeah, they throw everything at you. But those are 8-way. So my vertical is mainly 4-way games, but you have those 8-way games on it, which I usually just hide because I'd rather play it the right way.
yeah.
But now I reached out to Stefan last year and said, "Man, I got to have one of those." He's like, "Oh man, I'm going into business with
With
a
Glenn.
Glenn,
Yeah.
so it's going. You have to wait to get it." And so I've waited probably a year. It seems like. So I'm glad that it's come out. I got it for like I don't know, $34 on Amazon. Well
Mine's
worth
being
it.
shipped as well. So mine are going into my iArcade. So that way I
Okay.
can, model the panel and do the switch for those games too. So instead of having the external ones, I think that's gonna be a fun that's gonna be my first mod ever to the iArcade. So I think it's worth it. It's one of those things where it's like, I've not touched anything on that cab at all, but this is one that I think is an absolute must. So that's exciting. Yeah, definitely keep me posted. I actually want to see a little bit more of your workshop in a second. But P Dubs here brings up a huge point. It says due to the rise in the base cost of Arcade1Up cabinets, he does less custom mods projects these days because you can't make a custom cabinet monthly like you used to. Everything's too expensive. I mean, that's a huge factor in it. We used to be able to buy these cabs in the $75 Walmart days, or like, finding deals for cheap. And there was tons of people that bought Star Wars caps for $50, right? I don't know if we'll ever get to those days, but I think that sparked the modding revolution boom, being able to find cheaper cabs and then reskinning them. But even then, because there's a lot of secondary market cabs that you could probably still find, like older Gen 1 cabs for cheap. But is it still worth it? Like for you, is that which Galaga do you have? Is that a Gen 1 that you're still modding?
Yeah, it's a Gen 1.
Mhm.
It's a Gen 1, and I think I pay in Michigan, we have never seen any of those $75, $50 deals at
Mhm.
Walmart. Has never happened. We always usually pay full price. But at the time, the full price for this was $299
Yeah.
because it didn't come with the riser. And I think I got it. They marked it down for like literally like 8 hours by mistake to 249. So I got it for 249. But that's the lowest any of the cabs have gone here. They always charge us full price and they sell, so no reason for them to change that, I guess. Um, but yeah, but modding means different things. Like even P Dubs is saying, he put on the T2, just the stickers and
It's the, like,
the Joe
cosmetics.
Sabo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
because to some people it's like, man, I want this to look just like the original. But these companies come and go. Midway, obviously would have to get paid if they had their names on Arcade1Up's cabinet, so they excluded it. But people want to get it, and the third parties make it happen so that you can get it to look exactly where you want. So there's a lot of aspects to modding. I mean, it could be simple as just putting a coin door into a
Mhm.
a, a a stock Arcade1Up cabinet because you want to be able to put coins in it, right? So modding can mean so many different things, and the market's here for you to do whatever you want to do.
That's true. Yambo says a good point. He's been to cities you've never heard of California looking for discount cabs. And there's some places where discount cabs just don't exist. And
Right.
man, the jealousy people get when they post their scores and they're like, I found 10 cabs at $75 and I bought them all. And everybody's just like, where's that in my area? The Arcade1Up deals and discussion post that Lewis Chambers put together was meant for that. But man, those days, I think the best deal I ever personally found was like $150 for a cab, like a Gen 1 type cab that was $300, marked 50% off. I found a few of those in my local Los Angeles area. And so I was like, okay, so I bought a Pac-Man for that price. And I bought a Ms. Pac-Man last year and two Mortal Kombat 2s Gen 1s. And those are like the only cabs I ever bought like at that much of a discount ever. But yeah, a base price definitely starts that conversation. And Dub said, yeah, you can get up to $1,000 now when I'm modding stuff. And I feel like I was very, very nitpicky early on, where I was counting pennies for everything I was putting into mods. But now that I'm also a content creator, and now I'm thinking about like, oh, I can do this to make content. I'm less worried, but I don't even count how much I'm spending on modding like a full size cab. So for example, I purchased Tron, $700, right?
Mhm.
And the minute I got it, I already threw a PC in it. I already, started modding it and put another, the PC alone is worth at least $400, $500 in terms of parts alone. Like, because I do PC mods for everything, and I just like that extra power. Um, and then yeah, and everything else. And then I bought the screen and the S panel. I already spent like $400 or $500 in mods in addition to the Tron just to get a little multi-cade going. Don't tell Mrs. Kong's the rest that she's about to come right now. Um, but I don't have this hesitancy like I used to. And I've been spending enough to get the cabs exactly how I want them. Isn't that what you would want to do? Spend as much money as you want to get something how you want it to be.
Not a cab.
No.
Not a cab.
She's like, no context. She's in and out. But I do have some other guests in the background that I want to bring on too. But good morning, Mrs. Kong's Arrest. Are you coming in? Are you ready
I'm almost ready.
to say hello to the folks? What's the most you've ever spent on a mod do you love that you can think of?
Now I a little different than you guys, where you guys you've built cabinets that don't exist, right? Or
Yes.
you've started. I've only ever modded existing cabinets to give me the functionalities that I wanted. But Pete was talking about the price. From day one, I've said it. Just for the cabinets alone. Now, if you have carpentry skills, then you can go build any of these cabinets full size, do whatever you want. It's the no brainer, right? But for us novice that don't have those skills,
Mhm.
the price alone justifies the cabinet and the artwork, especially with Arcade1Ups. You can argue that with the legends and those type of things are less pretty by themselves. But to be able to get a cabinet to look the way you want it and then put the components in it, that's a no-brainer. But I would say I usually used to put in my videos the price of what the cost of what I pay. But I
Yeah,
would
right.
say
Hmm.
I would say that it's well over $1,000 easily. You know, um, getting the way I want. I have real coin doors in my Street Fighter, real coin doors in my Galaga. So that's a pricey item by itself. You know what I mean? But like you said, I've never looked at the. Well, you said you looked at the cost initially, but I've never looked at the cost, because the alternative to getting a full cabinet that's 40 years old with
Yeah.
rat and mouse poo, rotted wood and all that stuff, and 300 pounds. It just doesn't appeal to me at all. So to be able to get one of these cabinets that's brand new, and to stock it the way you want it and be able to have what you want, it's just a no-brainer to me. Period.
Yeah.
So the cost is irrelevant at that point in time.
And Mystery Encoder is here joining us now,
Ooh.
gracing us. And he says soft modding is where it's at for some of these more expensive cabs. To your point about keeping things as stock as possible, he's been saying, hey, you got an Arcade1Up pinball machine? Let me just show you how to add some additional things without changing anything. No additional. It's the most inexpensive thing you can do besides tinkering a little bit more. So him and his team, actually, that's his goal is to help the community learn how to soft mod their stuff, the old very sneakies of the world,
Yep.
right? Where you just
Yep.
took the PCB and just did a little bit of stuff to it. It's not a full-on button change out. It's just giving you more value for your dollar. So Mystery Encoder doing some good work. And look at all these people saying hello to Mrs. Kong's R Us. So you want to
Good
say hello to the
morning.
folks? And you know what we're talking about add-on today?
Soft something. Soft hands.
We're talking about modding and is it still worth it today? So I started my channel and a lot of my content has been, I'm gonna like work on this mod and build this cab. And this is the prime example of I built
Oh,
something.
gosh, yes.
And then Arcade1Up released that exact same cabinet, and I had already started this. And then eventually, it's been sitting here for like 8 months doing nothing. So how do you feel about that? Is it worth making these cabs, or do I just wait and wait and wait and buy a real one from Captain's Arcade Auctions? I mean, wait for Arcade1Up to release something. Have any thoughts on this? I know I just wanted to see her reaction.
I would love if you didn't mod. That way I have like a room back again. But in all honesty, I think as the person that you became during this COVID hobby, it was all about modding. So I would always lean back on modding then. So no to buying a new one because that takes up space. And modding just seems like it's a very fun tinkering hobby for you to have. And for those too, I mean, if you're curious about how does it work in the back end, what are things that I can add to it? I can add to it, not waiting for Arcade1Up to add to it. I think that's very empowering.
She says that he looks like, her look is just like I'd stab you. Yeah, I get that often,
Like this morning.
Don't ask the wife this question. This is the whole purpose of this show, where I get to this is Kongzerus Confessions, essentially. This is my online public therapy session about my modding obsession and working with Arcade1Ups. But yeah, thanks, Delia. Feel free to hang out. I have some other folks that are joining in and out, but feel free to hang out for the rest of the show. I have somebody else backstage I'm going to bring on. His name is Bob OIF III. Bob, did I say that right? Are you Bob OIF III? I'm sorry.
Bob OIF III is I was in Iraq in 05 for the whole year, and when I came home, Xbox Live was a big thing, so I went with Bob OIF, Operation Iraqi Freedom, third rotation. That's the whole thing behind that. And because this is a gamers thing, I kind of just went back to the old name for it, even though
it is Bob OIF III when you're in the chat. So now that's good to know. Thank you for sharing the background for that. I will remember Bob OIF III now.
Not a problem. Actually, I appreciate Rev going ahead and coming out with the Sarge for it, because I did make sergeant ranks, so that does make me feel kind of cool. So that I kind of like that a little better than the other stuff,
Yes, sir. Yeah. So tell me about this. So you joined the show, and for folks that want to join the show as well, this is the StreamYard link to come in. Modders Unite. I'm curious about this topic. Have you modded something? Has this happened to you? Curious about your experience with this.
I created my own multi-cab a couple of years back with like a Windows XP operating system. And unfortunately, I had to learn everything, through YouTube. And it was a lot of trial and error, and it took me about a year to get everything. But I had it all going, and then I couldn't find any video cards after a while. And sorry, my big old doggy. He's just come to say hi. But
hello,
doggo. He's my buddy.
Yes,
he's my buddy. But now I got 3 little guys, and they're huge into the retro gaming as well now. So for Christmas, I gave them my Retro Pi 4 along with an SD card and my control panel that I want to build with them. So we're looking at building a Calcade for them to put in their loft. And so that'll be their multicade. So we're going to mod some stuff for that. But that's going to be a huge pain in the neck, because I'm going to be teaching a 9, 10, and 11-year-old how to do it now.
That's a fun project. Yeah,
I
haven't been
great.
Myself,
I can't wait.
And I've definitely been interested in getting him more involved in this stuff. So what did you actually skin it as? Did you besides making a multicade itself, what was the theme for it? Is it something?
Oh, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's the family game. I know Zohar's the man with Mortal Kombat, but God, I can't wait to get online, man. I may not be as good as I think I am, but I look forward to getting humbled.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thanks for joining in and chiming in. So you have a multicade in the works. Has it ever happened for you where you made the multicade, but then that same skin is coming out? Like if you mod your current Mortal Kombat, are you getting the 30th anniversary online one too? Are you going to have 2 Mortal Kombats in your house?
Oh yeah. I'm definitely. I've got the original one, and then I'm getting the 30th anniversry. And I got rid of the multicade I had. Sorry, my pug's trying to start shit with the black lab here.
Okay.
So that's about to get fun. But
all right, no worries.
Yeah, I'm gonna get running here before these two get into something, man. I'm sorry, but hey, dude,
thanks.
I appreciate you taking it easy on me when you took me out in that
borders
on the glass.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for coming on, Sarge. Talk to you soon.
Pleasure talking to you guys, man. Take it easy. I'm gonna get these dogs out later.
Cool. All right, so we got a lot of. Go ahead.
B, I wanted to mention, like I have the original, what do you call it, Street Fighter.
Yeah,
that's modified. got a coin door. You got to have
Mm-hmm.
all the horizontal games on it. But you see, I got Big Blue here now.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two Street Fighter cabinets sitting in the room, and I don't have any issue with that. I don't feel I have
Yeah.
to get rid of one because I have the other. Obviously, that plays everything else besides the
See,
Street
this is
Fighter.
my thing. I did the exact same thing. I have my Gen 1 Street Fighter 2 that I modded with the PC Hyperspin build, and I was like, I have Big Blue. But see, I recently convinced myself to keep that one because I have a PC in it. So now I'm playing the modern Street Fighter games
Right.
like
Right.
Street Fighter 5 and King of Fighters 15. So I'm like, I need a cab that can play modern games. The only thing that I like hesitate is that it is themed Championship Edition in addition to the Big Blue one. So I'm like, meh, it's kind of the same, but
You
I've
should have
learned to.
just sold it when you had the chance.
New
And
says
good
to
morning,
keep
Mrs.
going.
Kong. I didn't get a chance to say that. Your mouth's been full, so I didn't want to
Oh, what do
interrupt
you
you.
have to say to Mr. Encoder that says acai bowls are gross?
Actually, they are if you put bananas in it. I had
Mm.
to. You make your homemade ones. Don't put bananas in it.
No bananas. No
Mm.
bananas for anybody. I do want to mention for folks that are just joining the show early on, the reason why I even started this was because somebody from Repro Graphics what is it? Repo Arcade UK reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you want a Star Wars Trilogy skin cab?" And then I invited him on the show, but he couldn't make it. But he wanted me to give away a free graphics kit to anybody that joins my show. So, I mean, looking at this site, Detroit Lab, is there anything here that piques your interest that you would mod into a cabinet that you don't own? Is there anything here that looks fancy?
Stop right there on the right. That's it. Donkey Kong, baby.
Oh, the Donkey Kong? Where did it?
Scroll down. Scroll down. It's
Oh, I
one.
passed it
He has
already?
two of them. He
Oh,
has
there it
two.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did-
I mean, obviously, Donkey Kong is one of my all-time favorites. Arcade1Up is probably never going to release one.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was something I would definitely scan, even if I kept, say, Galaga, and
Mhm.
because Galaga's obviously has Donkey Kong on it as well, because it has all the
Yeah.
great verticals. But yeah, I would definitely put Donkey Kong on something that's it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, these are all Gen 1 shaped calves, but now does it bother you about the shape at all if it's not the Nintendo shape for a Donkey Kong though?
No, no. Now he had two. I'm not sure what the two different ones I saw. He had two different Donkey Kongs, one at the top and one towards the middle. So I'm not sure what the difference is. But
Yeah.
no,
He
I
also
mean,
does the legacy version too, so it's just like a
yeah, I think
different.
that's where the concern comes in for these third party modders now.
Mhm.
Before the shapes were all the same, right? Now you get into
Mhm.
these different cab shapes and XL and these type of things, so they have to start adding on to
Yeah.
their stock what's available. But yeah, I think this is cool. You see a lot of people that just simply mod the outside. They do a multi
Yep.
K and then they put the shell on it that they want, and so that's a pretty cool thing to
All
have
right.
available.
Should we do the giveaway now? Since people are here, should we wait for a little bit? Let's do the giveaway in about 5 minutes or so. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my StreamYard giveaway tool and I'm gonna put something into the chat right now as a hashtag, and then we're going to let people collect the responses. So if you want a skin or a free graphics kit from Repro Arcade, I want you to put into here hashtag Repro, all lowercase, Repro Arcade, and then I'm gonna start collecting comments. So go ahead, everybody, start putting Repro Arcade. I'm gonna come back to this in about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna draw a winner. So free custom graphics kits for anybody that's here. Hashtag Repro Arcade, courtesy of our good friends from Repro Arcade. So that's gonna be fun, man. So you could get a Donkey Kong graphics kit, Detroit Love. Go ahead and put a
Man,
comment in there.
I'm gonna
See
do
what you
that.
can do. All
I'm
right,
definitely
so
gonna do
Gibby
that.
Gibbertson has it. So that's all you got to do. Put into chat hashtag Repro Arcade if you want it, and you can get that. Ooh, Seth Lacey with a 199 super chat that says you want that Felix Jr. skin, Fix It Felix Jr. skin. That's awesome. Yeah, the Nintendo cabs, the Fix It Felix. It's gonna be freaking awesome. So, all right, we got a couple of other folks backstage as well. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go ahead and give you some Mrs. Kongs or Us. I don't know. I think we're talking Star Wars, so I gotta do some Star Wars for Mrs. Kongs or Us. One of my favorite mods. All right, cool. So we have a lot of people putting Repro Arcade in there. The giveaway tool says only 26 people have entered. Go ahead and keep putting in hashtag Repro Arcade so that you can get a chance to win. So let's talk to some folks backstage. I'm going to bring on another modder that I've been talking to for a while now in the community. Well, they make custom put your quarters on a glass artwork for when you get your first cutting cup. They probably could, Mystery Encoder. They probably could. You probably could talk to Rep. He has a guy, Daystar Signs and Designs, that can make custom stuff for you too. But this modder I've been talking to behind the scenes, I've been a huge fan of his art. In fact, the first time I ever saw this modder, he did something that I did. He made a Macross arcade cabinet, and it freaking got me so excited. It is Yambao GoLion, man. What is up? Can you give me a sound check? Can you turn on your mic? I can't hear you right now. Can you check your audio to see if it's working or if you have it set to a microphone? You can't hear him, right, D-Love?
No sound at all.
How about now?
Yeah, yes, we can hear
Sweet.
you. All right,
Sorry about
you're good.
that.
Yeah, no worries, man. Talk to us. How are you?
Good. Man, this is early. I'm in California with you too, so.
Nice. Yeah, thanks for coming on. But you have some
Yeah, no
cabs
worries.
in your background, and it sounded like you have some feedback. But have you ever made a cab and then it eventually got released?
Yeah, the first one was Ninja Turtles. Because you had like 99 lives. I did the 4-player mod. I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then like a week later, they announced it. I was like, dude, really?
What did you end up doing with it? Did you sell it?
No, I still have it. It's like it's right next to me. It's like
there it is. Okay. Oh, so you actually, what did you turn into it? Did you collect a bunch of Gen 1 cabs and just reskin everything? Like
basically, like the comment I left earlier is like, man, I've been up and down California looking for those deals. Like this was originally an Asteroids, got it for like 75.
Yeah.
It started off, I was just like, it was gonna be like all 4-player games, all the beat 'em ups, and they had like Blitz and everything. But then like, I did the sports cab, which is right next to it. That became a sports cab.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the thing was just like, when they announced Ninja Turtles, it was just like Ninja Turtles and Ninja Turtles 2. And I was like, I want all like the 4-player games. So
yeah, cool. What else have you done that's been skinned? And when I see your cabs too, I love that you even put some of the games on front. So you tried to make it look like a real Arcade1Up. You put the titles of the games that you put on your cab on the actual kick plate.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that theme throughout, like all the mods. Sorry, like I'm on like my laptop. That's my laptop works.
It's hard to move around.
I don't know if you can see this RoboCop behind me. That became like the 1-player mod.
Okay.
So it was all like a lot of the Data East 1-player games, Daphne games. It was all 1-player. Usually most of my mods, except it's not even on, is I got a Typing of the Dead. That's kind of like the only like one. Well, I actually have Typing of the Dead from what's the other Typing of the Dead game? Overkill.
Nice.
So that ended up becoming like a joke with a friend of mine because like we were finding these cabs for cheap, and I was like, I should do something. And someone said like Typing of the Dead. I'm like, let's check it out. So, but yeah, like everything, every mod, well, mostly every mod usually had a theme, like like the 4-player mod, the sports mod. What else do I got back here? Then I did Neo Geo like a while back.
You still have your Macross mod? Tell me about that. You and I are the only two who have ever made an Arcade1Up Macross. There it is. Tell me about your Macross fandom if you couldn't tell I'm a Macross fan. So
I love Macross. Living, 80s kid watching Macross when I was a kid. This is the Shump shooter. All basically Shumps, vertical monitor. I love Macross. I mean, I don't have all the cool stuff like you. I mean, I got all my mechs like in a box. Like, that's another thing with this room. Because I had toys like all about, but like where we at now? Like almost 19 cabs and 3 pinballs later. Like it's always had to get sacrificed.
See, people have more cabs than I do. So for folks,
but look he boxed away his toys.
Oh, that's true. So for folks, I have 40 entries so far in the giveaway. #ReproArcade to give away a free custom graphics kit to anybody here. So Yambao, is there a kit here that you've seen that you would be interested yourself? Are you done modding, or are you still kind of like modding, or have other ideas and plans that you'd like to do?
I mean, a lot of the stuff I really, it was kind of like what a lot of people were saying was just like stuff that like I want to do that is probably never going to come out. Blitz, I mean, maybe they do Blitz, I don't know, but I feel like like if they do Blitz, it's gonna be like I don't know. I think it'll be kind of like a stripped down version, like what they did with Jam, like having like multiple. I mean, I know licensing is a pain, but
Yep.
That Virtua Fighter stick. I think that might be the next mod. Is like
Right here?
doing.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
actually looks clean. I like that. That's actually a
yeah.
very iconic looking cabinet right there.
Because I mean,
Very
I don't know who knows if we'll ever see Virtua Fighter. I think that might be the next mod, is the next fighter. Yeah, I want to do like a Namco
3D fighters. Yeah.
Tekken, Soul Calibur.
You got Typing of the Deads in here, and this is a good site. So Repro
Yes,
Arcade.
I want to see. I want to see when you had, what was his name, Maker Mania on the show. I was super jealous.
Yeah.
On that, and then he did the off road. Like,
Yeah.
I want it.
That's the style, man. Like those guys that can make their own shape cabinets out of everything. That was me. Like I want to make something, but I want to make it look like it. So 41 entries. Okay. Last call for anybody to put in hashtag Repro Arcade. This is your last chance. 41 entries. I have 100 people watching the show. If you're joining in, we're giving away a free kit. I'm gonna give you one more minute, and then we're gonna draw a winner. All one word. Hashtag Repro Arcade. Yambao, did you enter? Are you gonna win something?
No, yeah. I mean, I'll type it in there in a second.
Put it in there, man. Make sure you get in there. All right, so there it is. Yambao, hang out for a little bit too. I want to bring on some other guests as well.
Yeah.
Love the selection. That site is badass. Absolutely. Sarge says he's new to the channel, so I'm not adding to your loyal fan base. Has better odds. Oh, thanks, Sarge. I mean, for sure. If you want to jump in, this is for everybody. Buy stuff. Has a racing kit on the next level that has you excited. Elboom. This is the bad thing now that I have a channel and I get to talk to other modders. I get inspired like literally every day by something that I see, and I'm like, oh crap, I want to do that. And then to your point, Yambao, I'm like, oh man, now I know who Maker Mania is. I'm gonna like pick his brain to do everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's how it is with like a lot of people in the community. It's like, I saw, like the 4-player mods. I mean, it started with that, and like Neo Geo, and then just I want to do Daytona next, but we'll see.
Now I have a question. For you too while you're waiting for the entries for the two of you. Now, when you mod a cab, does it matter to you that all the buttons work? Say like the power button, the volume button. Is that important at all, or just get the game working with the skin you like?
Personally, for me, like I modded my Street Fighter because it was just I wanted Street Fighter 3 and all that. I mean, I still have the original control panel. I was using what's his name? Killer Arcade's like PC mod as like my guide to do PC mods. And I bought like the power button and all that, but I mean with the volume and like the OG power button volume, I mean it's still on there, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't really care, but I mean, I don't know, that might bug some people. But yeah.
All right, I think I'm gonna call it 44 entries into the hashtag Repro Arcade giveaway. I love giving away stuff. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Repro Arcade, for technically sponsoring this stream with the giveaway. And here it is. We're gonna draw. Finally, 44 people are in here. These are all the folks that had put in hashtag Repro Arcade, and the winner is new sensation. I was about to say,
stop reading until the thing comes up.
I was like, new Gibby Gibbertson is the winner. Congrats, Gibby Gibbertson. You win I just cracked a free custom artwork kit because these guys are based in the UK, but they ship worldwide anywhere. Check them out. Their selection is really cool. In fact, I might hit them up for that Point Blank. I don't know. I already finished my Buck Hunter cab, but what if I change Buck Hunter into Point Blank? That would be probably more speaking to me than a Buck Hunter cab. But oh man, exciting, cool. Gibby Gibbertson, tell me exactly what you're gonna get into the chat. He says, "Oh my God, he won! Congratulations, man! That is awesome. Let us know in the chat which one you're gonna get. I'm really curious about that. What would you have gotten, Yambao, if you won?"
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I probably would go with that Virtua Fighter, honestly, or maybe the way you were showing, probably the Virtua Fighter right off the top of my head.
How about you, D-Love? It would have been Donkey Kong?
Either Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong 2. I would have to wrestle on which one I would go with. Probably 2.
You never did answer the Detroit's first question about when you do moddings, do you just like get the game to work, or do you also make sure the buttons work too?
I do everything. Like, from top to bottom. I repurpose the Arcade1Up switch to an inlet module switch. I try to repurpose all the buttons and functionality. I used to be the ones that I used to do a lot of the audio mods too, and then put extra speakers and amps. But I was like, I'm not so much of an audiophile to go that much anymore. I try to just repurpose the stock stuff and just get things more functional. But to your point, Yambao, I try to keep my cabs very themed, where it's not a ton of the multi-cades are great, but I want those controls to work for that set of games. And so curating games is like the next level art. In fact, I want to give a huge shout out to, I think it's this guy. Oh, I got to show it. Scott Weber did a mod yesterday and posted it. He made a Starfighter, the last Starfighter arcade machine. Are you guys the last Starfighter?
I saw that. That's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Oh, dude, it was so sick. And then he used my mod, but then he rethemed it to the last Starfighter, and I was like, that's exactly the type of stuff that I love seeing. I gotta show it because it was freaking awesome. I gotta get him on the show at some point too. Where it is? Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Good stuff. Share screen. Here. Check this out, guys. Boom. Who would ever mod a Star Wars machine? But I mean, is this not badass?
That is
Sick.
nice.
Yeah. The last Starfighter. Isn't this cool? Yeah.
Oh, he's also using.
Yeah.
Just kept your buttons too.
Yeah, so he used my kit and modded the Star Wars yoke to the last Starfighter theme. But not only did he do that, if you look, his logos are actually different. And look, he made his own. Oh wow, he did a widescreen mod, so he did the power mod as well. But he made his own like theme, like for intros for everything too. And it just is. This is like the next level of modding, where it's not just about the buttons. It's not just getting things to functionalize and work. He made the playlist, everything on here. Even the font is Last Starfighter, and he went in and changed the XML in it to make it look all updated. So I don't know. I wanted to showcase this because it's freaking awesome.
Functionalize?
Yeah. Is that not a word?
No.
No. It's functional. It's awesome. Detroit Love, what do you think about this?
That's pretty awesome. And that's the way I feel about my mods. Like I've used like relay switches. I'm not sure if you ever put a relay switch on, because I like to be able to hit just one switch and then everything come on. You know, you have all these different power
That was
sources.
the first tutorial I ever watched of yours, man. The relay switch. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those things are pretty sweet. But yeah, I like when people go all in like this here, and it just makes it look like they went into a store and purchased that just the way it looks.
This is gorgeous, Scott. I mean, kudos to you. He went all out. It
has the coin door on it too.
Yeah, he put a coin door on it. I'm just happy that it was partly, I had something to do with that. He used my button layout in my playlist, so it was cool. Yambao, what do you think of this? Have you ever done Star Wars? Is this something that you would do?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty sick. I mean, yeah, I totally dig his custom like UI. I'd love to learn how to do something like that. I mean, like basically like on the PC mods. I mean, I'm using Big Box into the default theme.
It's easy, man. Like Launchbox, that's where I got into it. But yeah, let's connect some other time. But I love your work, Yambao. Feel free to hang out if you want to for the rest of the show. But I appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Steve.
Cool.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Nice to meet you, bro.
We got a $4 super chat from Seth Lacey that says, Kongs in Detroit, you guys ever consider a Tapper mod since it's so unique? Detroit Love, this is for you.
I haven't. I obviously have Tapper on my Galaga here. I haven't, I've seen people have like the real, what do you call those things that you pull to pour the beer? I've seen people go way out on it, and they look awesome. Now, if I had a bar in my basement, if I ever decide to finish the basement here, and you have a bar, I think Tapper would be pretty cool to have.
Nice. I don't think I've ever considered Tapper. The best Tapper mod I've ever seen is Juan Pablo Berthod. He made a Tapper machine with even like the levers and everything.
Was that
really
Budweiser?
sick. Yeah.
Wait, so does it actually tap beer?
He has a refrigerator in it that actually holds beer in it, in addition to the tapper with a fridge is like the best mod that you can do, right? That awesome. Like makes complete sense.
I would think that you could play the game, switch a button, and actually tap out beer at one point.
Oh yeah.
They sell kegs.
If I make that, would you want that in the house? A self-tapping.
You have to like refill it every so often. Like
one would have to be beer, and the other one would have to be wine.
Yeah, for sure. This is a poor Star Wars machine, but otherwise, I think the last Starfighter.
Did you
was
see
awesome.
like Gibby Gibbardson said he would?
Oh yes, so he wants the first gen Donkey Kong for sure.
Kong
so he's stealing your idea, D-Love.
Hey, it's enough for everybody.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of Star Wars fans, some people were really sad about this poor Star Wars machine, but you know, it was a good Starfighter. And if you are a Star Wars fan, I have somebody backstage who is one of the biggest Star Wars fans I've ever seen. In fact, modding went next level because he's like, I'm not modding an arcade, I'm building a functional droid. It is the one, the only R2E3. Steven Swartzentruber. What's going on, man?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good. Hello. Welcome back to the show. And hello, R2E3.
Oh, he's so animated today.
He
He's
is.
psyched to be on the show.
He's feeling a little better, you know. I mean, all of these things, they're a constant labor of love, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's an arcade machine, whether it's this thing, there's always stuff breaking down. Like, for real, there's only two kinds of scenes in the original Star Wars film, right? There's the kind where this guy is saving the day, and then there's the other kind where there's people working on it and fixing it. And yeah, what can I say?
Are you controlling it with the arcade controller?
Yeah, no, it's a PlayStation 2 remote. Yeah. It's Arduino based with PlayStation 2 remote control.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So sometimes you feel like you're actually playing a video game while you're using
Oh,
him, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah?
No, I'm a gamer, so it's like, well, a lot of these guys will use an actual RC remote.
Okay.
So if you go to the cons, you see some of the droids.
Yeah.
It's a guy with like a big radio, and it's pretty obvious as to who's controlling the droid, and it kind of takes a bit of the mystery away, right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is small enough that I have a Jedi costume, right? So I have a Qui-Gon Jinn. So when I'm wearing my it's just underneath my robe, and nobody. Normally it's wireless, but we're wired right now just to keep it simple.
That's
he's
awesome.
Really is a pain in the butt. Like, yeah, you are, aren't you?
D-Love, what do you think about R2E3? Have you ever seen like somebody build it talking to a droid builder?
I haven't, man. That is pretty awesome. How tall is that?
Well, there's an Arcade1Up Space Invaders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Is it on the riser or not on the riser? The Arcade1Up.
It's not on the riser. No.
Okay.
No, R2 doesn't go on risers. D-Love. I'm just kidding.
Right? But yeah, like I mean, even right now, I can't even move them around right now because I just got one of these in the mail, and that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, I know.
Is that a shaker motor? What is that?
No, this is one of his drive motors. This is
Okay.
a replacement scooter motor out of one of those Razor scooters.
Okay.
Yeah, his are 6 years old, and like you'll do something like you change out the dome motor, and then 2 weeks later, now he's got a drive motor burning out. So you know, all these panels, all of them are supposed to open. Yeah, I don't see all of them opening. Yeah, no, I don't. Even his lights in the back, one of them are burnt out. I've changed that. So, but
That's so cool.
like the arcade machines, I mean, you're never really finished. He's presentable.
Right. So funny enough, earlier on my show, I had Webhead that made an R2 Die4 projector arcade out of an R2 trash can. Does he project at all too? Does there built a projector?
He has a projector in his film, yeah.
Would he actually be able to project something arcade related and you could play it on a controller or something? Has that ever been something that you would do?
To stay tuned, B.
Oh my goodness. If anybody ever had a modding contest for an arcade and you had a real R2 playing it, that would be the most amazing thing. That would take the cake. So we will stay tuned. Steve has been kind enough to share some interesting stuff, but I love that you're a gamer and that you're sharing your hobby with us. You've also been joining a lot in the fighting game scene. Have you done any actual arcade mods? Is that a cab in the background that I see you modding? What is that in the back?
Yeah,
is that a centipede?
All kinds of cabs. I got a full size. It started when I got 3 full size cabs in one day because we wanted to do a project with a couple of friends of mine. And I'm not a woodworker. I'm the electronics guy, right? So they came over and did the woodworking, and we basically gutted them. Sorry for any of you full-size cab guys. we gutted them except for the Jungle Hunt because one was a name brand Jungle Hunt, but the other ones were just like generic cabs. So yeah, we gutted them and put LCDs in with PCs and actually X-Arcade tank sticks, and which I have a whole bunch of. See, Yeah, I have a bit of an addiction at this point because I got started on this when I found out about the Star Wars cab, and
Ah.
like I mean I had seen the Arcade1Up Pac-Man in a local store, and it was kind of it was gitchy, right? I never bought it because I had the full size machine done at this point. But yeah, we finished the product and the project, and that was when I realized the only thing better than having one arcade machine was having three, right? And then the project was finished, and the guys came and picked up their machines, and now it's like, no, I'm back to one. No, that ain't right. He gets lonely when I'm at work, right? So I like to have
Yeah.
electronics. Yeah.
Cool.
And,
So you joined the show one other time, but like talking about it. But folks that don't know, you built this. You also go to cons. You also go to
right.
hospitals and things too.
Yeah,
So
that's how I got started with it, was by going to Comic Cons and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I was just a guy that was a Star Wars fan. I'm actually a bigger Star Trek fan. Uh, but yeah, that was how I got started. I just went to a couple of seminars and stuff like that, and yeah, it was like, you know, it's cool to take a ribbing. Like that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I didn't even play Marvel versus Capcom, but
Mhm.
if I'm coming onto the community, sure, make a spectacle of yourself. This guy's always getting hit in the head. He's always getting blown up. I mean, we're used to it. We're kind of like droids. The builders themselves are kind of like droids, and yeah, we'll get blown up, no problem, and come back the next day. Right?
Yeah, that's so cool.
But yeah, when they said in a seminar that we take a ribbing, and it's like, well, what do you do with them? You sit in your basement and play Star Wars with your little droid, and the guy's like, well, no, we go out and we do fundraising, and even the Comic Cons themselves, you go to a Comic Con, you take a picture for $5, and they donate that money to Make a Wish or Extra
Cool.
Life or yeah, so it's a thing, right? And
Yeah.
certainly visiting the hospitals, yeah, that was the best thing about it. And then we haven't been able to do that for a while, so
Yeah.
we're looking at coming online. Maybe things are opening back up, maybe they're not, but we're gonna still try to do the online effort anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, we
Something
appreciate you,
new, something
Steve.
fresh, something new.
Yeah. Thanks
But
for
we're under
sharing.
construction, so yeah, we have a lot of technical difficulties, but we're coming. We're coming.
So we were
Whoa.
talking about modding. Do you have a dream cab that you are planning to build or mod? Like, what's your big dream cab that you would do?
Well, we'll just say that it's Star Wars related.
All
We might
right.
have purchased a few GRS products, and
Okay.
maybe even some of the stuff that's been on streams lately.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not a woodworker, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's excited to get some
You
more
guys get
Star Wars related things
excited. That
in the
wasn't
house.
even me. Like my hands are here. That was him.
All right. Well, thanks, Steve, so much for joining the
Thanks guys
show.
for
We
having me.
appreciate
We'll
you
keep
so
in
much,
touch.
man.
Thanks for
All right.
sharing. That's
Take
awesome.
care. That was freaking awesome. Do you
Yeah.
love any final thoughts seeing Steve and the droid? That would be next level, right? Projector
Man,
case.
I couldn't even imagine how much that cost to build there. That thing is
Let's
we
bring him
we
back
would
on
both
and
get
ask.
kicked
All
out of
right,
the
wait,
house.
Steve, how much did it cost? Who wants to know?
Well, you can buy them at Galaxy's Edge for 25 grand American, not including
Wow.
shipping.
This is true.
But this is next level compared to one of those. 6 years ago, it cost me about 10 grand American to build. But that's all aluminum. You can do it for about $2 if you go with a combination of wood, plastic, and fiberglass.
All right. So for the cost of a pinball machine, you can buy
But
an
that's
R2
all
and
aluminum. So
build
he's
your own
made to be
R2D2.
around kids. Like he's made to be beat up. So yeah, you can beat the crap out of this thing. Yeah.
I
Because
think I
some
have a
guys,
new
they
project.
get their droids
Steve is
out in
gonna.
public and it's like you can't touch it. No, I want it to be able to. Kids are brutal, man. I don't know if you know that, but yeah.
Would you let me
Right.
build an R2D2?
I almost feel like you're just gonna go to Star Wars Galaxy Edge and buy one of those.
I did. I was really
He was
curious about.
debating it, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we'll talk. I'll build you one.
All right. Thanks. So now you know, D-Love. Does that mean you're gonna buy one? Is that something that's in your wheelhouse?
Not at all. That I would finish my basement if I was going to put that money out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. We're getting close to the hour here, and the last thing I wanted to talk about, because I teased it in my video about Star Wars Trilogy, right? So the whole question is, I probably should add in let me do that. Let me add in a final poll about should I mod this now or should I wait? I think that's the burning question that I have. So Detroit Love, can you help me out? What do you think I should do? Should I go ahead and just mod it now while I can before it comes out, or do you think Star Wars Trilogy is something that Arcade1Up might eventually release?
I think if they release it, you're not going to be satisfied with it. So it's going to get modded either way. So so it comes down to, do you want to start with what they come out with and build from there, or do you want to start on your own?
Yeah. What do you think? What should I do?
Let me pull the microphone so you could type. There we go. Yeah, I would say just mod it. It'll give you. Well, actually, no. Work on your commissions first. Holy hell! Get those boxes out of my house. No
This is
modding.
true. I do have a lot of projects and other projects, and so, or wait for Arcade1Up.
Yeah, I think like finish your projects first. That'll give you time to like wait to see if it's gonna come out. Do you think they'll come out with another one? I mean, the virtual pinball, the sit down Star Wars. Would they try to rub another Star Wars fan by putting out something else? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, here's the reality with Arcade1Up. There's only so many cabinets that they can build, and once they build a group of them, they're going to sell. So they're going to have to reiterate, and reissue some of these things. So we should expect most of these cabinets to come out again, hopefully bigger and better. But yeah, they have to reissue some of the games. They can't just always keep coming out with something new. Period.
So a lot of people are. I just put the poll into the chat that says mod my own Star Wars Trilogy or wait for Arcade1Up. So feel free to let me know, because that's the burning question I want to let folks know. So here's my other concern with the possibility of waiting too. So I know what it takes to emulate this game. This is a Sega Model 3 game. It uses an emulator called Super Model 3. If you're not familiar with it, it does take a little bit of work to get it working. There's not a really fancy user interface for it, but it does require a PC at the moment. Like, this is not a game that is easily playable on like a Raspberry Pi. And as you know, most games that Arcade1Up has released, like Pi-based emulation or like that type of chipset, is the farthest they've gone. They haven't gone deeper than that. Finished projects. So let's go ahead and share kind of my full screen right now. And I want to just, while I can, show a little bit about what it takes to run this game. So this is the Sega Model 3 interface. There was a guy that actually built a user interface called this like Sega Model 3 UI, which is one of the most popular UIs. It's really easy to get this, and then it's really easy to just Google where you can get ROMs. But you could play Star Wars Trilogy as easy as putting this into a folder onto your PC that you play. I'm going to turn down the sound so it doesn't have a ton of background music for us to get
It has
copyright
virtual
revision
on it. Why the hell
Yeah.
do we have a full arcade virtual on when you could play it here?
Because exactly. Well, you can emulate anything, right? So here is Super Model 3. This is essentially playing Star Wars Trilogy. I'm going to stop sharing this and go back and share the actual screen so you can see it. But I have the full-on Star Wars Trilogy. You can play it on a PC. It's super, super easy.
You gotta get to your screen share.
There it is. So there is my Sega Model 3. You can play this with a mouse, and we could be playing Star Wars Trilogy on your PC. So there's so many ways to play this game. I don't know if Arcade1Up is going to have the ability to do this yet, because they're not on Model 3 emulation. They're only on I'd say System 22 emulation, which is about 2 generations behind where this is at. And yeah, this is super fun. When you see a game like this, Carl, Detroit Love, is this something that you would want if they ever came out with one?
Well, I mean, after seeing your mod on your I keep wanting to say Star Wars cabinet, I'm definitely interested in modding mine because while I like that, the bigger and better games are obviously worth playing too, right? So I definitely have a desire to mod my Star Wars to get these type of games on it, as well as the racers. I mean, you did a fantastic job with that mod. Obviously, the PC can play all those games, so that's where I want to go. I just, like I said, I don't, once I open up the rabbit hole, it's tough to come back out. So, but it's on the list.
It's on the list. Foxy says that Star Wars Trilogy will be a Pro Series cab. That's true. The other concern is the controls. Would they be able to replicate that trigger? And we know that they did Tron. It was a very plasticky controller, but the original Star Wars trilogy was an analog stick that was really heavy and really felt hefty too. So I would be really curious on how they execute that. I have a confession to make.
You bought it already, didn't you?
About what?
I don't know. You bought something.
It's quite possible. So there's 62 people, or 62% says mod my own trilogy, and then 38% say wait for the Arcade1Up Star Wars trilogy. Well, even though I already asked the question, I might have already done something. What do you think I did?
Suzo Arcade1Up.
Analog. Talk to the people about
Joysticks. Keep typing. Where's this shopping cart of yours?
It might have already happened already. So
he bought for $264.14.
This is confessions. Okay, so this is the joystick that it takes to run Star Wars Trilogy. So this is an analog joystick that is a real arcade part that has a trigger as well as the topper, and this is the analog style that the original Star Wars Trilogy has. So if I was gonna mod my own, I would want this. I would want this controller instead of using the other one that people use as an Altimark analog stick. But I want the real thing. So I don't think Arcade1Up would ever put this quality of controller in it. So my confession is I might have already started down the path of modding my own, because this is what you want. You want unique controls. A pro controller series would never include something like this. This is like a $200 part, and I don't think it would ever do it.
Why do you do this to tease your wife and your fans that like you already made this decision, yet you're gonna make everyone else help you decide?
Because I could always cancel it. I mean, I had to order. I did get it cheaper than $264. This is a very expensive part.
Why is it $264.14? Where does this 14 cents
because
come
Sizzle
from?
Hap is really funky like that. You know, they sell 8-way joysticks and all this other stuff for lots of parts. This is the arcade company part.
And he got it for $264.12.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Actually, I found it on eBay for $221 shipped instead, plus tax.
Is it also coming on March 7th?
It is coming in like about a week or so. But the plan is I will be using that controller and modding this and working with Repro Arcade to get a Star Wars trilogy. So I plan to have my own up and running Star Wars trilogy using that controller, that machine, and what you just saw, the Model 3 emulation. Because I think if Arcade1Up was going to do it, one, I think it's about a year or two away from a chipset possibility. And two, I don't think the controls will be as good. So I don't know. The only thing that concerns me is just having the shape of the cab look like a Star Wars trilogy. But that's it. I mean, yeah.
Well, the good thing about modding is unless you have a confession like B Kong just did, your spouse will never really know the full price of those things.
Yeah.
Because they come in pieces, right?
That's true. I this is just my Sunday confession, so I can feel better and let her know that this is coming. But Cryptomaniac asked, or Manic says, how does modding Sega Model 3 compare to the emulation they did on Killer Instinct? So I think Killer Instinct is still something that can run on, you know, a MAME through CHD, and so it's still not using its own emulation system. So I think the closest thing that Arcade1Up has done from like a 3D modeling standpoint has been Buck Hunter, as well as Ridge Racer are the highest technical cabs that they've done. But Killer Instinct, even though it requires a lot of good emulation, I'm not sure exactly what backbone. It's a Nintendo game, a Rare game, so I don't know if there's like an emulator, but it's run on MAME on PCs before, and I don't know if this ever has run on Pi, but they did it. So Code Mystics did this. It might be possible that they can do Trilogy. Who knows? I have no idea. Mystery Encoder will let me know. Ooh, there's a 199 super chat that says, can you play online browser like Xbox or PS5 like MVC? Are you talking about just the emulation that we did earlier? I'm not sure what this question is. I have a whole video on Fightcade, and D-Lev, have you downloaded Fightcade yet? Have you
I haven't. I haven't. You know, my PC setup is really weird. My PCs are always in pieces. Right now, I'm on my laptop. The PC that I work on for the shows on Friday nights is a little MRX, I think it's called, a little tiny PC. So it's not very powerful. So I don't really have any super powerful PCs that's ever whole.
Well, you don't need a
that's
ton to
funny.
play a Fightcade. Maybe for the Naomi stuff like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but T96, definitely check that out if you're looking for online play stuff. But yeah, I don't think Xbox or PS5 would play through anything that you can emulate yet. But Fightcade for retro stuff, good stuff.
All right,
All right.
I'll have to check it out.
Yay. Webhead says, gonna have to change the show. No? Yes? Money Monday show. All right, I think we're going a little bit long. Gibby Gibertson's on 5K. Well, congrats, Gibby Gibertson, for winning the prize. Check out Reaper Arcades. Detroit Love, anything else you want to say for the Sunday morning to the folks? Any projects, plans, and things you got going on?
No, I never commit to anything because I just run off and do something else at the last minute. But do look for this GRS 4-way to 8-way video to come out soon. Beyond that, I still have I never even put my what's it called, Bit Pixel on my Legends Ultimate. So at some point in time I'll do that. But outside of that, I can't commit to anything.
Yeah. George says he has a guy asking $1,200 for a real stand-up Sega arcade trilogy. If it's working at this point in time, I think so personally. $1,200 is what they're charging for like a Pro Series home arcade replica. So if you can get the original that's working with that IP, I've seen these go for at least like maybe 15 to 2,000 on auctions, maybe more depending on how good it is. You can see the controller and the parts alone. You know, it's already worth $300 just for the controller.
Giving George FOMO. Don't make.
I'm just saying, if I saw one for $1,200 and it was in good working condition, it might be something that would show up in our garage. I mean, I think I would be putting close to half of that cost into building my own. Might as well have a real one. So if you can get it, I don't know. I think that's a pretty decent deal. Foxy says Namco system debuted in 92, Model 3 in 96. So we could be looking at 2023 or 24. Makes a good point. So again, the highest chipset that we've gotten to right now is System 22. Model 3's was 4 years later in terms of just development possibilities. You make a good point, Foxy. So now, wait for later, and then I'll just port my stuff over into the real one once I get it. Or I can learn woodworking skills like Foxy, and we can make that happen. Oh, Foxy says 2,300 is the best price he's ever seen. So, George, that means buy it. 1,200. Buy it. Go check it out. Make sure it's working. Anyways, Mrs. Kongzures, any last things that you want to say?
Stop modding. Finish projects.
Yeah, so we're going to start finishing projects. Detroit Love, thanks so much for showing up today and hanging out. I appreciate you. And we'll see everybody next time. Bye.
All right, guys. Bye.
Sitting up.